Hi. Okay, I was just trying to set up. I was just setting up the YouTube login and live streaming. So we're here to do some yoga this afternoon/evening. I'm just going to log into my YouTube so I can see chat and also check to see if I'm live. I had live streamed YouTube last week, I think it was, or maybe it was the week before. And I didn't know that I wasn't even going live. So I've got to check every time now because who knows what's happening. And I'm live, so that's great. So I'm going to mute this. And then that way I can see my chats come in. I do have a chat window up on my computer. Hopefully it's enabled. I'll just say hi, welcome. There we go. And then I need to get some I cut my head off. I need to get some chapstick because, yeah, that happens. I've really been enjoying going outside and picking weeds. Can you believe that? Just going outside, picking weeds. It's been really fun, and it's almost like Easter egg hunting. I'm out there and I'm just looking, and I've gotten really good at checking or finding like things that aren't the grass that we want to have at our home, or in our yard. So, well, glad to have you here. We're gonna do a evening practice, so something that's more creative, something that's more less like heating up and everything. We're still gonna tone and help our flexibility and stretch. But where I'm at, we have already been like through the day and already been at work and been sitting at a computer for most of the day, and so I think just kind of like offsetting, like maybe heart openers would be good. So if we could do some heart openers. So why don't we just start with that? So come to seated. So we'll face the side so that you can, so I can demonstrate. So we're gonna open our heart. Inhale the arms back, just gently, not overdoing it, but just starting to feel the heart opening up. Hi, Guinevere. She's like, give me some food, please. So we're just starting. If you're joining us, we're just starting. So placing the hands kind of like behind, maybe at a 45-degree angle behind the body. Hi, beautiful. Hi, beautiful. All right, and beginning to open the heart. So the palms can be on the mat. The fingertips can be away from the body, if you like. And then feel as if they're more a magnet at your heart center, and it was just lifting the heart up. And so you're sliding your shoulder blades back and down and squeezing them together. Breathing in. When you inhale, you'll feel the chest expand. Good. We're going to bring the hands forward, placing them on the knees. And do a seated cat-cow. So inhaling the heart forward again, kind of the same concept of squeezing those shoulder blades together. And then exhale, press the navel in toward the spine and round. Inhale, opening the heart. And exhale, round. Excelente. Good. 2 more of these at your own breath's pace. When you're done, we'll just meet in regular seated. Good. All right, so with a nice even spine, and we'll begin to walk the hands forward. Exhale the hands over to the right, stretching the right side ribs, and then walking the hands over to the left, stretching the right side ribs here. You might even feel it in this area. This is where the lat muscles kind of reach up and gather together at the base of the shoulder. Walk the hands back and back to the body. Good. And we're going to switch which leg is on top here. Kind of repeating that same sequence. So opening the body. So you might find that your shoulders are opening up. So when you place the hands behind the body, there may be more space available to you here. So the fingertips can be on the mat, or if you'd like, you can place the palms down. Good. Opening the heart. Breathing, expanding the ribs with the breath, with the lungs, and exhaling out. Feeling the shoulder blades squeeze together. Heart is lifting. And then bring the palms to the knees. Inhale, roll the shoulders back and down, opening the heart up to the sky. Exhale, round the shoulders forward, opening the back of the heart. Squeeze the navel in toward the spine. Inhale, create space in the abdomen. Exhale, compress the air out. Very nice. Two more like this. And on your next round, we're going to exhale back to center. Walking the palms forward again. Man. See, just experience a connect with your hips on the floor, compression in the hip flexors. Walk your hands over to the left on your next inhale and exhale out. Inhale, walking the hands back to center and over toward the right. Good. On your next exhale, we'll walk our hands back to the center and back toward the body. Very good. All right, interlacing the fingers behind the body here. So we're just gonna squeeze those shoulders together, or toward each other, not together, but toward each other. And then switch which thumb is on top. So you're gonna the fingers are interlaced, and you're gonna switch the fingers and the thumb so that you switch which thumb is on top here. With us staying inside, I haven't gone to get a haircut, so my hair is really growing long, and I really like it. I mean, I like that. I wanted to grow my hair long for a while. All right, exhale, release the hands. We're gonna send the legs out straight. So practicing staff pose. So you can see I'm sitting on a blanket. You can sit on one too if you like, or you don't. It's not necessary. It's completely up to you. Press your hips, your sits bones into the floor. Inhale the arms up to the sky. The fingertips are shoulder width apart. Breathe, and as you exhale, shift from the hips. So hinge at the hips, reaching forward as if you're presenting a gift to someone or placing something up on a table. So to do this, you need to have a flat back. So you may not be placing your forehead on your shins, and that's fine. That's not the goal here. The goal here is to stretch in the backs of the legs and to not round in the spine, and to strengthen the muscles of the shoulders. So, I mean, this even helps, like whenever we're sitting on our computer, we're mostly like this, you know? So this is just strengthening the muscles that have been like overstretched that way. Yeah, good job. Awesome job, you're doing great. On your next exhale, now let your hands come down to your shins, your feet, wherever is most comfortable for you, and you can begin to round the spine, let the crown of the head point toward the toes. Maybe you hook the peace fingers around the big toe. If you're not there yet, you can place your hands on your shins, knees. Maybe you grab the soles of your feet, or if you'd like, you can use a strap to place around the balls of your feet and hold the strap here. Feel the stretch in the back of your hamstrings and the back of your calves. And not forcing too much, just easy, gentle. And deep breath here. And then as you exhale, notice that you've created space and then relax into that space. Good. On your next exhale, we'll walk the hands back and placing them behind the body once more. So last time we had our hands behind our body, our legs were kind of crossed and seated. All right, and we're gonna bend the feet or bend the knees, placing the heels kind of like equidistant away, like you wanna have from the hips. So this is center, the heels and the hips are equidistant away from the center line. Hey, Benjamin, what's up? Didn't know we'd be using, is it geometry in yoga today? Okay, lifting up from heart center up to the sky with a nice, strong, straight back. Feeling the collarbones sinking back away from the midline of the body. You can stay here if you'd like, or you can move on, pressing your palms and your soles of your feet into the floor, lifting the hips up. Stretching into the front upper arms, both of them. So here you want to pretend you have an orange or an apple between your chin and your chest, and that you're kind of squeezing that together. So you're not letting your head hang backward, not pinching into the neck. And then on your next exhale, you'll release down. Very nice. Bring the heart over the pelvis, and then bring the soles of the feet together. Have a nice tall spine here as we move into cobbler's pose. I'm sorry, I was letting my mic dangle. Hope there wasn't a whole lot of static. It was just like sad, like, so yeah, I'm sorry if that was causing distractions or problems. All right, breathing nice and deep here, and then we're gonna exhale, walking our hands forward, only going to your personal edge where you feel the most comfortable. You may feel a stretch on the inner thigh, and your knees may be up higher, they may be down on the ground, and then you may feel a stretch in your sacrum, like on the muscles on either side of the sacrum. The heels can be further away from the body, so if you want to just kind of test the waters and kind of scoot them out just a little bit more, and notice how that stretches even different muscles than were stretched before. Then you'll move back into the pose, bringing the heart forward. Do you notice how it's stretching even more of the muscles here in the buttocks on either side of the sacrum? And bring the heart over and maybe walk the feet out even a little bit more. Keeping the spine just as straight as you're comfortably able or want to do, and then walking the hands out forward. And then you may notice that the stretch even comes into the outside edges of the thighs, like on the outside part of the thighs. And breathe. I hear Guinevere breathing, but I don't see Guinevere, so I don't know, I hear her. All right, so from here, we'll begin to walk the heels back toward the body. Maybe here, bringing them just a tad closer than we originally started, kind of moving the other direction. Keeping a nice tall spine, exhaling the heart forward. Now here, not trying to force yourself to like go like super forward or doing too much of a forward fold, only going to your comfort edge. So you want to kind of stay not too like forceful, not too easy, but somewhere like right in the middle. And then take a deep breath there. I feel like Guinevere's like right here. Oh, she's right there. Okay. And she's looking at me, so the sound is like pointed right at me. Okay. All right, so coming out of that, and we're gonna place our palms right behind, just kind of like we did a moment ago, and our soles of our feet away from our body just a bit so that the knees are in the center and heels and hips are even distance away from this midline right here. All right. All right, pressing into the knuckles of the fingers, lifting the heart forward and up. And exhale, kind of a reclined cat-cow. Inhale, rotate or shift the sits bones so that you're rocking forward, opening the heart. Exhale, round the spine, and then you're sinking on the back of the sits bones. So it's kind of like a reclined cat-cow here. And then find center, find neutral, a neutral spine. And you can turn your palms a different direction if that becomes too much for you, or you can even come up on knuckles and then press your hips to the sky. Once more, if you like, only do this if you feel comfortable doing so. Not letting the head dangle back, but keeping the head kind of tilted forward, engaged, relaxed neck. And then release the hips down. Good. All right, very nice. So we're gonna hug the arms in with one elbow on top, stretching the backs of the shoulders. Maybe you get your fingertips around the inner edges of the shoulder blades. Give yourself a nice little shoulder blade massage. Kind of see if you have any points on the shoulder blades, on the muscles of the shoulder blades or around the shoulder blades that kind of feel a little bit tight. Maybe you find a knot. And don't press too hard, just something that feels nice and gentle. On your next exhale, you'll release the arms out. Open the heart up to the sky, arms go out. And exhale, send the other elbow on top. Good. And do the same thing, like finding maybe some tender, gentle points that it feels nice to press on. And when I would go get massages sometimes, they would press on this area and then I would feel it like maybe here in my forearm or somewhere else down in my leg. And then called that a trigger point massage. And I think that more and more folks are learning about the fascial tissue around the muscles and how it's all interconnected. And so just because you feel something hurting here, it may not be here that is causing the issue. It may be somewhere else, and some of that could be due to the myofascial tissue. So there's a really great lady here on YouTube. Her name is Melissa West, and she does a lot of yin, restorative, and like myofascial release. She's very good, so I recommend her. Definitely. Okay. So coming back to this, now we're not gonna go up, lift our hips up right away. We're gonna sink our knees from side to side. Yeah. So getting into those muscles around the sacrum, on the glutes here on either side. It's almost like foam rolling. Yep. Feels so nice. All right. All right. When you're ready, we'll move on. So just take your time here, no rush. Just really feel, if you feel like a sensitive spot in the glute muscle, you're welcome to kind of stay, I wouldn't say on it, but once you find that really sensitive spot, kind of go to the side of it just a little bit and take a few breaths. Because we're not trying to attack the tension. I think if you attack tension, what you end up doing is just inflaming it, like getting it angry. And we don't want to get that angry. You want to go to the side of any tense spots and then find some softness. In Sanskrit, it's called sukha. Sukha, like sugar. I think of like asuka. All right, so we're going to come up from here. And let us come to our hands and knees. And you got it, cat-cowing the spine here. So check in with the knees, make sure that they're under the hips and the wrists are underneath the shoulders. So once again, if your wrists are a little bit tired, you're welcome to come on your knuckles here. There we go. I had a really great conversation yesterday on Twitch. And we went over lotus pose and we talked about the prime cleanse. The video is still posted on Twitch, so you're welcome to go check it out. It was really nice to have that. It was mostly just a chatting session about yoga, and it was just a really great time. I think we learned and talked and explored different facets of yoga and the prime cleanse. All right, so if you were up on your knuckles, you'll want to go ahead and come back to your palms. When you come up into down dog, so that's what we're going to do next, you'll want to make sure that you're pressing into the knuckles of your hands. So don't just compress and feel pressure on the wrist. You want to spread the weight around on your hands. So bring the hands underneath the shoulders. And so just feel what that feels like to press into the knuckles of the fingers of the hands. Okay, on your next exhale, tuck those toes if they're not already tucked. Press the hips up to the sky. Begin to walk the dog here. Shift the hips from side to side. On your next exhale, bring the shoulders over the wrists or palms. Roll your shoulders back and down, and then lower the body. Knees are welcome here if you'd like. Point the toes. Inhale up to cobra or up dog. Tuck the toes. Press the hips up back into downward facing dog. Walk the dog once more. All right, we're going to exhale the shoulders back over the wrists and palms. Roll shoulders back and down. Take the gaze forward in front of the mat. And when you're ready, you'll exhale down. Point the toes. Inhale, peel the chest away from the floor. On your next exhale, tuck the toes. Send the hips up to the sky. Maybe walk the toes forward just a little bit, a couple of inches or so. Walk the dog. I see my tan lines on my feet from when I go out and pick weeds. I definitely see the sandal, that I wear is lighter than the other areas of my foot. And one more time here with a chaturanga. So you're welcome to come down to knees. Just listen to your body and do what's right for you here. On your next exhale, we'll lower down. Point the toes. Inhale to cobra or up dog if you'd like. And then on your next exhale, instead of pressing up to downward facing dog, we're going to shift our hips back to our heels, stretching into our shoulders, into our shoulder blades. We're going to slightly bring the hips up, tuck the toes, walk the hands back, come back, bring the hands back to the body, lift the knees away from the mat, and curl up into a little ball, balancing on your toes here. Hey, babies. Hey, I see ya. I see ya. I do. All right, breathe here. And then on your next exhale, move. Move, Benjamin, move. He doesn't know what move means, so I'm going to have to say something that sounds kind of weird. Oh, he did it. Okay. Yeah, I have a command for that if I need him to move. Okay, and we're going to walk the hands back out, lowering the body down, coming down to the floor. Send your arms down by your side with palms up, and then we're going to inhale the feet and chest away from the floor. So as much as you would like of your legs, like you're kind of like flying here. And then breathe. You're strengthening into your low back. Your chest can be peeled away from the floor just as high as you'd like it to be. And as you breathe, your abdomen will be pressed into the floor, and your breath is actually massaging the inner organs of your abdomen. The major organs, I should say. All right, when you're ready, place your palms just about under shoulders. Your legs can come down to the floor. Exhale, lift your chest away from the floor. Coming back into semi-child's pose with your toes tucked under, walk the hands backward. Coming back into your little ball here, stretching the back and stretching the back of the heart. On your next exhale, walk the hands out. Lower down. Inhale the arms to your sides. And send your legs and arms up. Let them float up, keeping your belly grounded into the mat. And breathe. Notice as you breathe in, you may be able to let your legs and arms float up just a little bit. On your next exhale, you'll plant your hands just about under shoulders or a little bit lower. And exhale the chest away from the floor. Shift the hips back. Begin to walk the hands back. Tuck those toes. Roll up into your little ball once more. On your next exhale, walk the hands out. You can come to your knees. Once your hands get under your shoulders, you'll lower down. Send your palms down by your sides. Inhale your arms and legs, floating them up to the sky. And breathe. One more deep breath here. And exhale, lower the hands down. Place your hands on either side of your chest. Tuck the toes under. Exhale, press the chest away from the floor. All right, we're going to practice our pigeon pose. So coming into plank for just a moment, inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to draw your left knee behind the left wrist and then walk your left ankle out toward the right edge of the mat, only going as far as you're comfortable. As you walk your foot outside, even further out, you may start to notice stretching in your buttocks, in your thighs. So we just want to honor your body, only going as far as you're comfortable. So you can keep that heel back. In other words, you can keep that heel back just as much as you want. When you're comfortable, you'll send your back knee down to the mat and maybe point those back toes, or you can keep them tucked under if that feels better for you. Just kind of test the waters and see which one feels best for you. Whew. When you're ready, you can lower if you'd like. You can stay up if you want, or you can lower down to elbows. If you have a block, you're welcome to place that block underneath the forehead. And pay attention to the hips. Notice if they're trying to move one way or the other. No, Benjamin, please. It's not the time to play. And so you'll breathe. So what I was saying before Benjamin squeaked his hot dog is notice if your hips are trying to shift one side or the other too much, and see if you can keep them somewhat stable and centered over the mat. If you have to move your ankle in order to feel comfortable in this pose, then go ahead and do that. Go ahead and move it where you need. The hips are an area in our bodies that we can store emotions. So don't worry if you're start to feel a rush of a certain emotion, like rage or joy or whatever, anything, as you come into these, because it could be stuck emotions in our hips. Maybe not. If you'd like to lower, you can. Listen to your knee though. If it's if it's screaming at you, make the adjustments that you need so that it feels better. And when you're ready, you'll walk your hands back, tuck the toes underneath, lift that back leg up, and then slide your front foot back. And let's meet in downward facing dog for just a moment. Shifting hips from side to side, and notice if there's a difference from one side to the other. All right, when you're ready, you'll come into high plank, not for long, and then exhale the right knee behind the right wrist, and then walk that right foot over to the outside edge of the left side of the mat. Only going as far as you feel comfortable until you start to feel a gentle stretch in the hip. And then lower that back knee down. Maybe you point the back toes. Maybe you keep them tucked underneath. Yeah. So I used to bowl whenever we were able to get out and socialize, like bowling. And this hip is way more sore on me than the other hip is, just because of bowling and how much I've bowled in the last year. All right, so if you'd like, you can come on down to your elbows, or you can stay up. So listen to your hips, make sure that, they're not shifted over too much one direction or the other, and that you're able to keep them somewhat like even over the mat. I read in one of the yoga books that for teacher training, that in this pose, it's not a super good idea to just completely relax. Like, it's still a somewhat active pose here, where we just want to pay attention to our hips, our legs, our knees. So keeping that knee tucked underneath in the back, keeping your toes tucked under in the back will help the knee stay stabilized. And then you can test the waters and see if you don't need the back toe to be tucked, you can point that back toe. Maybe you use a block to place underneath the forehead. Observe the body. Notice where it starts to feel maybe some emotions rising. And find a bit of grace for yourself. That's why I call this grace yoga, because there's a bit of grace that we need to find for ourselves in challenging poses and postures. Knowing that it's okay to make adjustments at any point that you need to. And it's never good to feel pain, numbness, or tingling. And those are just signs that if you feel that, then you should make an adjustment until those go away. Not that it shouldn't be challenging, but you should be in a position that you allow the poses to happen, not force the poses to happen. And when you're ready, we'll begin to walk the hands back to the body. Bringing the hands just about underneath the shoulders, just as much as you're able to get them there. And then we'll get the rest of the way there by tucking the back toes and then shifting the hips forward, kind of like walking them forward. All right, and now we're there. So lift the back knee if it's not already lifted, and then begin to slide the front foot back, meeting in downward facing dog. And once again, we're gonna walk the dog here. Be creative, expressive in your down dog. Maybe you send one heel all the way down, shifting the hips over to one side and then the other. I really like to do this because my lats I get really overworked, I think. And so this feels super good. The stretch goes all the way down into the space just below the shoulders, like in this area when I do that. But your creative down dog walking might look a little bit different. Let the head hang between the upper arms. All right. On your next exhale, we'll release our knees down to the floor. We're gonna walk the knees out to the outer edge of the mat, point the toes, and gently let the big toes kind of touch, just a little bit. And then shift your hips back. And then walk your hands forward. Bringing the heart to the floor if that's an option for you. And breathe. Sorry if I'm like Darth Vader here, like. But that type of breathing is really good to do in yoga. On your next exhale, we'll press our hips away from our heels. We'll walk our knees back together and then begin to walk the hands back toward the knees. You'll tuck the toes underneath and then walk the hands up the body until we come up on knees. Yeah, oh my hair, whoa. Good job. All right, so practicing camel pose, because this is a great heart opener. So we're kind of somewhat focused on hips and heart today. It's kind of like where we hold stress in our shoulders, neck, and hips, and then opening the heart just from this to offset the, rounding forward that we do if you work at a computer. So you'll place your hand on your low back here, sacrum area, and roll the shoulders back and down. Feel your collarbones like melting away from the heart center, throat center. You can go even lower into the pose if you want to, if you're ready, by placing the hands on the backs of the thighs. And maybe even, you may want to use blocks here. I can demo. I'll demo for you. I got blocks right here. So using your blocks either on your, kind of like the area right at the bottom of the calves or on the floor. So that kind of gives you a new space to be able to explore camel pose. Maybe you place the blocks on the floor and begin to feel a stretch, not only in the heart, but also in those thighs. Dang. And breathe. And when you're ready to come out, and you can go even further if you like, placing your hands on the floor. Just, it's your practice. You make it your own and do what you want to do and just make it awesome. Make it a graceful practice for you. But when you're ready to come out, you'll just come out exactly the way that you went into the pose. So gently, maybe placing the hands behind the thighs, on the sacrum. And then we'll bring our hands finally to our hips and then down the fronts of the legs, meeting back into tabletop. Very nice. Point those toes, tap the tops of the feet on the floor. And the dogs think somebody's knocking on the door. And maybe gently send one palm, lift it up, and then place the top of the hand gently down, not putting any pressure here, but just stretching the front of the wrist. And then doing that on the other side. So not pressing super hard at all. It's just a gentle stretch here. All right, and then coming back into tabletop. We're gonna roll over, down, and move the block, one block out of the way. And we're gonna come all the way down. So keep one block handy, but we'll only need one here. So there can be only one. All right. So find a position where you can have your heels directly under your knees. Have that block nearby, like near the hips. Tuck the shoulder blades underneath the body here. As you exhale, you'll press your feet into the floor, your heels. Let your hips lift up to the sky. And then you'll slide your block underneath the hips. So it can be on the lowest setting. The lowest setting is very effective. So if you want to explore the block on medium or high setting, that is completely up to you. You're welcome to do that. But here you'll just want to rest the back of your sacrum, the back of like your pelvis bones, like on the middle of, the block should be in the middle of that. So and there should be no pain. It should actually feel pretty good. And then you'll place your palms down on the mat, reaching toward your heels, but not touching, not necessarily. And your shoulder blades will be tucked underneath the body, and your gaze is up to the sky. You can have your heels falling in toward each other. You can even walk the soles of your feet out to the edges of your mat, or you can keep your knees about hip width distance apart. And just let yourself feel very relaxed here, as if you're melting onto that block. Maybe you close your eyes. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your abdomen. Let your jaw become heavy and soft, relaxed. Taking a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, begin to gently rock your knees from side to side. Not a big movement here, but a gentle rock from side to side, just bringing blood back into the back of the hips and the sacrum, and then find center. Another deep breath, and as you exhale, press your heels into the floor and remove the block, setting it to the side. And then lowering your hips back down, letting the spine come down from top to bottom, back onto the floor. Good. We're going to walk the feet together, placing the soles of the feet together, and then let the knees drop out to the sides. Good. Begin to bring the knees back up, placing the soles of the feet back on the floor, and then beginning to walk the feet out. Ooh, my feet are off the mat. So you may need to adjust the body on the mat so the heels so that they don't come off the mat, so they stay on. So you're all on the mat here. Good. You can roll up a blanket or put a bolster underneath your knees. You can even use a rolled up blanket under the knees here, just to provide a little bit of support. I can do better. I can do better than that. Here we go. Yeah. And that reduces the arching in the low back. Send your arms out to your sides at about a 45-degree angle. Now everybody's different. Some people can't stand being on their backs. And if that's the case for you, that's okay. You can lay on your side. You can sit up. You can lay on your tummy. Just take any position that you feel super comfortable. And then begin to observe the breath. And we'll take just a few moments here, noticing differences in the body. Feel the hips melting into the floor, the heels, the feet rolled out naturally to the sides. Maybe tuck your shoulder blades even further under the body, and then if your arms want to come out to your sides even more, just allow that. And now take your awareness to your breath or to your heartbeat. And as your mind begins to wander and think about things, then just bring your awareness back to your breath for the next few moments. You can stay in Shavasana as long as you like, or you can begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Stretch the body, reach the arms up over the head maybe bend the feet up, hug the knees into the chest, and rock from side to side if you like. Taking your time. When you're ready, rolling over to your favorite side. Pressing up. Thank you so much for your practice today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful evening and that this practice just helps you relax and have wonderful, amazing sleep. The divine light and the divine grace that is in me recognizes and is so honored by the divine light and grace that is in you. Namaste. Thank you, and my next class is going to be tomorrow, but not here on YouTube. It's going to be on Twitch, so I should probably post in comments here my Twitch link. And it's tomorrow at the same time, so 4:30 Central Standard Time on Twitch. I think I got it. Oh, there was I put a space between www space. No. I would love to have you there. Join me or follow me on Twitch because you get updates when I go live. And then sometimes I do bonus classes and where it's more casual and we just talk about different poses and then it's very interactive. So if you have questions about yoga, about a pose, you just want to explore, I'm here to just be a resource. So, and I love doing that and I love connecting with you. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm trying to update that link because I put a space in it before. Hopefully that's better. I don't know. So I brought my cumin, coriander, fennel tea, and I actually wanted to show it to you just real quick. So I'm on the Prime Cleanse, and I drink this tea every day. And I don't know, can I get it close enough so you can it kind of gets dark there, but you see how dark it is? It doesn't have to be that dark, but that's it's cumin, coriander, and fennel. And so I drink a quart of it throughout the entire day and try to have it completely consumed by 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, my time, your time. So if you decide to drink that, I have a friend who is actually starting the Prime, and all she is doing at this point is having this tea during the day and taking fiber every other night. And the fiber is half psyllium husk and half flaxseed. So that's what she's doing. And she looks amazing. She's lost weight already. And so I just think she looks great. And so I'm excited for her. And so if the Prime Cleanse is something that you're interested in doing, Kulreet Chaudhary is the doctor, the neurologist who designed that cleanse. I highly recommend her book. Because it's kind of a really in-depth cleanse, but that's a really good book to have if you are interested in doing it. And it's a very natural way to lose weight. She actually didn't design it for people to lose weight. She designed it to help people heal their mind. And as a side effect, people were losing weight. Some people up to 100 pounds or more, according to what she said in the book. So I thought that was pretty cool. From my personal experience, I've lost about 15 pounds on it since last year. So last year I lost 10 and this year I lost a little bit more. So not wanting to really lose anymore, but it just happened. So All right, well, hope to see you tomorrow. I really enjoyed you being here today. And tomorrow on Twitch, I put the link in the comments, and you're welcome to comment also at any point. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Have a great evening.